evening, TheoTrade. This is Corey Rosenblum, and you're watching the Theo Nightly video for the 23rd of June in 2020. And the market is, well, at least the NASDAQ, making new all-time highs. And that's on the back of technology, which we'll take a look at XLK, which is our technology ETF. That's above the 104 level. And the NASDAQ continues to push above the 10,000 level, which still is weird to say. Nevertheless, here we are. And the bullish type of activity in the NASDAQ, and it's your technology sector leader, or the index, as opposed to the Dow, which isn't, and the Russell, which is still well beneath the 2020 high, and of course the S&P futures, which are beneath its 3400 high. So tech as a sector and as an index is and remains the strongest. We'll take a look at why and what stocks are driving it up, mainly in part because of Apple. So I found this interesting. Not only did Apple make higher highs today, but it is basically the NASDAQ. That and Microsoft and Amazon, Facebook, NVDA, and some other companies we'll see in a minute here. But we're in this world where the NASDAQ, at least, is driven in large part by the strongest market cap names. Those are here, and we take a look at this from time to time, but it's worth revisiting in today's session. So right now I have these stocks in the S&P 500. We'll actually do that real quick. S&P 500, redo that, and you can see by market capitalization. So 1.588, etc. It's actually $1.5 trillion of market cap. Remember when Amazon and Microsoft and all the rest, or some of them, crossed the $1 trillion spot? There's 3 companies right now that have over $1 trillion. Apple is number 1. Biting on its heels is Microsoft, 1.53, and under that is Amazon. So because of the indexes, the way they're calculated, remember the Dow Jones index is a price weighted. So Boeing or high price stocks, you can look at a sort of the last or the closing price and see how that affected the Dow, but that's neither here nor there. The S&P and the NASDAQ are market capitalization driven names. So Apple being up 2%, Amazon being up almost 2%, these pullback you see in the close, that's what drove these indexes up, despite having a relatively weak advanced decline line, which is right here. So the advanced decline line on the right side of the chart pretty much stayed well beneath the 300 level, despite being most of the day a trend day to the upside, and that closed at the 0 bound. And this is just a tale kind of 2 markets still, the technology sector and, well, everything else. At least everything else is not joining the tech sector. And that is where we are. Strength begats strength, rallies begat rallies. Things that are strong tend to get stronger. So as traders, I recommend buying pullbacks, which are retracements or flag opportunities on pullbacks to rising trend lines, like this on an intraday basis, or moving averages. And that's a daily or intraday basis as well. And that's the case in the NASDAQ, which keeps making higher highs, higher lows, and trending to the upside. And that will continue happening as long as these tech names keep doing that. But what do we do right now? Right now, we are in overbought territory. That makes sense to us all, I think. And so we're looking for a type of pullback or retracement. Not asking for the world, not asking for a deep pullback, just something like that. When a market that's up 3-4 days in a row, the next couple of sessions tend to be lower. That actually is an edge. That allows for some intraday trades or some little swing trades. So that's where Apple is at the moment. That's a pretty mean V spike or intraday reversal that traded down from the 372. And Amazon, despite it looking strong, getting stronger, it also traded down from the 2783 level on the intraday basis. And then we look at other places, ResMed. I take a look at PayPal. So PayPal is interesting too. It is just a strong stock that continues to get stronger. And it's not really giving up the move at this point here. So from PayPal, which continued its trend day, I'm showing you the intraday chart. And that's how trends on the lower frame begin and continue. There's edge there for the aggressive intraday trader. But for swing traders, that's, I think, maybe many of you, if not most of you here in the video, that's going to be an opportunity to get long some puts, get long some bearish type of positions. Not for the end of the world, just for a pullback. Where to? Ideally, the prior high, that's about 160 per share, or the 20 exponential. And as you go through these names, you'll be able to frame out your own trades within this framework from a pullback from, in this case, all-time highs, that's Facebook, down to the 20 exponential, roughly 232 per share. And we can look at any other number of stocks. We'll kind of sneak that back in. And we're not just all tech names. Here's Google. Did not quite make all-time highs. That's 1,500 per share. And it's caught in a consolidation. You can also see these names on volume profile if you are interested. But the main thing we want to discuss is that these stocks are above the value area extreme high. And that's going to lead to a short sell type of edge or advantage. Each time it hits these levels, it tends to pull back briefly, and that's going to be at least a short-term play. When it's above it, it does tend to pull back in, although when something gaps and goes outside, that can create short-term movement in that direction. We call those trend days. That was the case in Amazon and some others as well, including, of course, PayPal. So the edge is to play short for a near term, maybe the rest of this week, a couple of days in the future, fade type of opportunity. Of course, if that doesn't happen, the alternate thesis is that we keep going higher. So that's what we're looking for in the S&P futures. This overbought led to a snapback that was very, very strong. And once it returned underneath the VA extreme, which is a yellow line, and of course Dawn's 2983 gravity point, that was an advantage or favored long bull type of play. We haven't seen much else happen since Tuesday, Wednesday, and all the way here into tomorrow, which will be Wednesday. Despite everything else, the headlines and all the things hitting the tape at once, the market has not broken out of the rectangle range. So that's what we'll be looking for in the near-term future. That's a breakout beyond 3150 or beneath roughly 3075 if you're feeling a little bit risk averse, 3050. But until then, we're getting this chop, chop, chop. It's chopping around the point of control, which just says we are neutral until we get a breakout. The NASDAQ got the breakout, which is pushing away from, right here, away from that up to the yellow. These are short-term targets, of course, or the prior high. So that trade or that setup, not so much all-time highs, I suppose, the way you would calculate, but XLF, XLK, those things are at least XLK technology. So anyway, that's what we're looking for bigger picture. Short-term pullback favored, bigger picture, bullish type of trades. Quickly, before we conclude the video, stocks that are making new all-time highs. These are a list. We show these in different videos. And the concept here is that which is strong tends to get stronger, not weaker. New 52-week highs, you're better off to buy them, or we would recommend doing some type of bull spread, risk-controlled spread. And we do that on pullbacks or retracements. You'll see familiar faces coming back up, including Microsoft, Autodesk, there's PayPal again, Thermo Fisher, Amazon, Tractor Supply, Masco, and some others. So we'll just kind of pull into these really quickly. And just getting our thought process going, by the way. The scan list, we have healthcare names, information technology, and communication services amongst a couple of consumer discretionary names. Is Amazon tech or is it retail? It's always a hard one to put into a box. So be careful with that one. So stocks making new 52-week highs include, just quickly, by percent function, Apple, Amazon, ResMed, PayPal, Thermo Fisher, the Facebook, Vertex, and some others. EA, Electronic Arts, keeps going higher. Microsoft, sneaking its way to the upside. There's Adobe, which is just relentless. And Autodesk. And you can sort of see how these play into it. So strong stocks keep getting stronger. That which is strong does tend to continue the rally, continue the trend. and you manage risk or enter positions on pullbacks, retracements, or flags, right now we aren't there. We're looking for a pullback in price. So have your spreads ready, get your candidates ready for the pullback if that is the near-term future. And as always, be careful and be safe in this market that just keeps having a bullish bid under it, despite all the news and everything else that says be a little cautious. As always, be careful and safe. This is Corey Rosenblum with tonight's Theo video for June 23rd, 2020.